We are live on Facebook as well. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the weekly live coaching session with me, Kelly McHugh. I'm the founder of Digital Yoga Academy. Thank you so much for joining me on Instagram. So if you're joining on Instagram, do say hello and let me know where you're watching from, and the same on Facebook as well. So if you're joining in the Facebook group or on the Facebook Digital Yoga Academy business page, then please say hello and let me know where you're watching from. You're joining me here for the weekly live session. I do this every single week, every Tuesday. I'm here on Instagram and also on Facebook to talk about a business and marketing topic, okay, that's related to you as a yoga teacher. So always here to help you guys to find a way to easily understand some marketing concepts that you can use in your yoga business, okay? So today we're talking about copywriting. So today we're talking about copywriting and the 3 principles of compelling copywriting for yoga teachers. So copywriting is something that you'll be doing in your business that allows you to promote what you're doing. So to promote your classes and to promote your events and your retreats, but also to share your knowledge, to share your to share what you're passionate about when it comes to yoga, to share your knowledge about yoga with your students and potential students online. So copywriting is super important to you as a yoga teacher, and it's probably something that you perhaps don't think about. However, it might be something that sometimes you feel quite stuck, and we've all heard of writer's block, right? We've all heard of writer's block. So actually that relates to how you go about creating your copy, okay? So today, in today's training, in today's coaching call, I'm going to be giving you some pointers around how to create compelling copy, okay? How to create compelling copywriting that you can use in your yoga business. And copywriting really is, you know, one of the most essential elements of effective digital marketing, okay? And you're here because you're learning about digital marketing and how you can use it effectively in your yoga business, okay? So it's actually, copywriting is actually the art of strategically delivering words that get people to take action, okay? I'll say that again. Copywriting is the art of strategically delivering words that get people to take action, okay? And there really is power in compelling copy, okay? There really is power. So it's the words that you use in your blog posts, it's the words that you use in your emails, your email newsletters. It's also the words that you can use on your sales pages. So if you're promoting retreats or online programs, those website pages that help you to promote those things and put those offerings out there, okay, it's the words you use on that page that will help people to take action, okay? And, you know, it's the headlines that you use on your website, it's the social media posts, all of these words is called copy, okay? So this is copywriting, okay? So these are essentially the words that sell, okay? They're the words that sell, okay? And copy is short for copywriting, but it just refers to the words that you use each and every day to communicate and to persuade. Now, unlike news copy, so copy that you would read on a news site, or editorial copy, copywriting really is about getting the reader to take action. So I've already said that it's the art of strategically delivering words that get people to take action, okay? And your ideal students, so I talked about your ideal students last week and how you go about finding your ideal students and really focusing in, finding that laser focus on who your ideal student is. And really today's training kind of follows on from that, because once you've really identified who your ideal student is, you want to talk to them in a way that's going to resonate and connect with them, okay? And that's where compelling copywriting really comes in, okay? So it's really super important, and these two elements really work together. So if you didn't watch the training that I did last week around how to find that laser focus on your ideal student, then please head to the Facebook Digital Yoga Academy Facebook page, catch up on that, and then also, have another listen to what I'm talking about today, because it really does flow on from last week's training. And your ideal students, they are looking for a transformation through yoga, and your job really is to share your vision of that transformation to encourage them to take action. Okay, remember what I just said? Copywriting is the art of strategically delivering words that encourage people to take action, okay? And you want your ideal students to take action with you, okay? You want them to make that decision to work with you, and for you to become their teacher, and for them to become your student, okay? And you do this through the words that you use on your website and on your social media posts and so on. So it's the words that you use in your business that help people to really connect with you and your yoga brand, okay? So it's really, really important. So I'm just going to check in and see who's joined me on Facebook now. So if you're joining me on Facebook, I see some people are watching on the page and also in the group. Say hello. And again, also on Instagram. If you're just joining, you're joining me, Kelly McHugh. I'm the founder of Digital Yoga Academy, here every week to deliver a live training and coaching session. And today we're talking about copywriting. So I'm going to talk to you about the 3 principles of compelling copywriting for yoga teachers, okay? So this stuff is really important. It's important for your business. And, if you've already got a website and you're already sharing posts on social media and you're already writing copy, then, you're already doing this. You're already doing this. But the great thing about copywriting is that you can learn how to be a good copywriter who writes compelling copy. Okay, so you're already a copywriter if you're writing for your website, if you're writing for social media and your email newsletters, but maybe you're feeling a little bit uninspired, or maybe you're feeling stuck with the words that you're putting out there. Maybe you get a case of writer's block. Okay, well, the good news is that you can actually learn how to be a good copywriter that writes compelling copy. Okay, so you can totally learn how to be smarter about the words that you use in your business, so that it sounds like you, okay? And it also makes your students want what you have to offer, okay? And that's really important. It makes your students want to take action with what you're putting out there. So it makes them want to, they connect to you so much, they resonate with you as a teacher, that they want to book your workshop, or they want to book your retreat, or, they want to enroll on your online course and learn with you more. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so give me some feedback, guys. As we go through today's training, I always love to get your feedback and to know if this is making sense to you, if this is resonating with you, and also how you feel about writing copy at the moment. Okay, let me know. Type in Instagram or Facebook. How do you feel about it? Do you feel a little bit stuck, writer's block, uninspired? How are you feeling when it comes to actually sitting down at your laptop and writing copy for your business? This is such an important part of digital marketing. Okay, so Rupesh says, looking forward to know those 3 points. Yeah, I'm coming on to them. Setting the scene, Rupesh. Thank you for that. Okay, so we know that there is power in writing compelling copy, and I want you to ask yourself something now. Have you ever been on somebody's website, or you've read a social media post, and you just thought, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? This is exactly what I need right now. Okay, ask yourself that. You've been somewhere and you're like, oh, it really feels like this person really understands me, because that is the power of compelling copy, and you really can't succeed without it. Okay, every day that you put off learning how to create compelling copy, you're not serving those students, those ideal students that need you as their yoga teacher and what you have to offer. Okay, and there's a lot of people in the world that are still yet to discover yoga, and if you're not connecting with them and converting those potential students into your students, then you're really missing out in bringing extra income into your business. So I want you to think about that. Okay, have a think about that. Now I'm just going to give you a little exercise. If you've got a pen and paper, write this down. This is something that I want you to do after today's training. Okay, I want you to find a piece of copy that you've already written. So it could be a social media post, it could be a paragraph from a blog post or a section of your website, and I just want you to write it out. Okay, I want you to write it out to start with. Okay, and then I want you to have a think about all the places that require you to place compelling copy. So I've talked about, you know, your website, social media. Are there any other places that you have to write copy? And it doesn't necessarily have to be online either. Okay, so a couple of things there for you to take away after today's training is to really think about those two things. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to the 3 principles of compelling copy. Okay, now I've already touched on it a little bit, but there's actually a big difference between writing copy and writing effective compelling copy. Okay, compelling copy, okay, so kind of expanding on our definition now of copywriting, but compelling copywriting is writing that works really well, is really effective in driving action. Okay, so this could be action. The action that it could be might be signing up for your latest opt-in freebie, okay, on your website. So when someone comes and lands on your website, they're not just signing up to a newsletter, because that's very wishy-washy. We don't do that. Okay, we ask people to sign up for a freebie that we've created, a valuable piece of content that we've created, and we ask them to sign up to that. Okay, so we need compelling copy to drive them to take action, so that they give us their email address and to get hold of our amazing freebie that we've created for them. Okay, so another thing that we might want them to do is we want them to book a yoga retreat. So again, we need compelling copy on our website that's going to really help to drive that action, which is, of course, the booking of our yoga retreat. Okay, now to drive this action, firstly, you need to understand who your ideal student is. Okay, so that goes back to the training I did last week. So if you didn't listen to that, if you didn't catch that, you need to check in on that, okay? Because you need to understand who your ideal student is, so that you can write copy that really speaks to them, okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? I hope it does. It should do. It should make sense. You want to attract the right people in your business. You want to attract the right students. So you need to really understand who they are. And I talked about this in great detail last week in last week's training. So head to the Digital Yoga Academy Facebook page and you can catch up on that. Okay. So you need to, you also need to offer your ideal students a unique benefit that makes you different from all of the other yoga teachers that are out there, and really tells them that you are the teacher for them. Okay, now I really believe in this. You know, there's a lot to go around. There's a lot of potential students out there. There are a lot of people in this world who are yet to discover yoga. There's a lot to go around, but you need to make it really clear to why you're different. What is the unique benefit of working with you that will really tell your student, your ideal student, your potential student, why you're the teacher for them. Okay, so things like, you know, testimonials or stories from existing students are a really great way to encourage your readers to take action, and also to support, you know, your call to action. So your call to action is the thing that you want them to do. Sign up for my freebie, book my yoga retreat, whatever it might be. Okay, guys, so I can see more people are joining on Instagram. Say hello, let me know where you're watching from. Also on Facebook as well. I love to know where you're watching from, guys. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so we want them to take action. Okay, we want them to, your copy needs to really support them to do that. Okay, and it really is, that's an essential goal of your copy, is to tell people exactly what they need to do and why they should do it right now. Okay, and you know, once you've figured out what you want to say, which will require some research and thought on your part, and you know, some creativity and some time, then you need to work out how to say it. And one of the this is a classic formula now that I'm going to share with you, and you've probably heard of it, or you may have heard of it. So one of the classic copywriting formulas that you can use as a guideline for creating compelling copy is called AIDA. Has anyone heard of this? AIDA, AIDA. Anyone heard of this? If you have, let me know. Let me know if you've heard of this formula for creating copy. It's a marketing formula, essentially. It's a marketing formula. And let me tell you what it stands for, okay? So A is attention, okay? So this could be with your post copy or the headline. So you want an attention-grabbing headline that's going to draw them in, first of all, okay? So that's the A. And then we've got I, which is interest, okay? So you want to engage their mind with unusual or fresh information, okay? You want to really cultivate that interest with the copy that you're using. Next up is the D, which is desire, okay? So here you want to engage their heart so that they want what you're offering. So again, this is really, really interesting because you need to know about your ideal student, which I've already mentioned. And then A, so the A for AIDA is action. So you ask them to take action. So you're really clear in telling them what you want to do. Okay, it's a really simple and effective formula for creating your copy. Okay, it's a very simple formula and it's used in marketing. It has been for a very, very long time. So it's one to have a think about and consider. And you can just use this now in conjunction with the 3 principles that I'm going to share with you right now. Okay, so this is the topic of today's training. We're getting there now. So set the scene around copywriting and why it's important in your business. But there are three principles of, you know, writing compelling copy. And I want you to use these principles in conjunction with AIDA, which is what I've just outlined for you now. Okay, so principle number 1 is copy that's clear and concise, okay? So does your copy have to be clear? Yes. Does it have to be concise? Absolutely, absolutely, okay? Because clarity will really ensure that your message is easily digestible, which is super important if you want the words to be read and you want them to be understood easily, okay? So your copy really needs to be concise and needs to be super clear. That said, the clearest, most concise copy ever written, you know, if it's still, you don't want it to be flat, it still has to be compelling so that your readers act, so that your students take action, okay? But you want your copy to be, you want it to fascinate your student in a way that will drive them to take action, okay? So let me just kind of explain to you now what I mean by this, by clarity, okay? So what clutters up copy? The opposite to clarity is kind of cluttered copy, okay? And cluttered copy is one of the biggest mistakes when you can make when creating copy, okay? Because when reading cluttered copy, you usually can't find what you're looking for because there's all sorts of information that's been included. Now, you may have heard the term flowery writing, okay? So people that are flowery writers tend to write for England. They just write long paragraphs, long sentences, and it can become very cluttered, and it's definitely not clear, okay? So I want you to have a look at the copy now, and remember that exercise that I gave you before. I want you to have a look at your copy that you've written down from that exercise, and just have a look for big words that you can change in favor for smaller words. So for example, instead of using the word utilize, we'll use the word use, okay? Instead of using the word indicative of, you could try a sign of, or instead of using the words attain, how about get, okay? So really just look at the words that you're using and see if you can change the big words for smaller words to cut it down. And then look at where you're using unnecessary words, okay? So are there any words, and I promise you, you will be using unnecessary words in your copy. Are there any words that you can just strike out from a sentence without actually changing the meaning of that sentence? So if there are, they are unnecessary words, and I just want you to cut them out, okay? When you spend a little bit of time doing this, you'll probably find that a paragraph that has 4 or 5 sentences is actually reduced down to a paragraph that has 2 or 3 sentences. And that's what you want to aim for, okay? If the paragraph still has the same message, that's what you want to aim for, okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense for those that are watching? So let me know, give me some feedback as we go through this, okay? So being concise is really, key with your content, especially when you're writing blog posts, okay? Because people have short attention spans and they don't really want to sift through your blog post to find the information they need. They want it right there and then, okay? So keep in mind that, blog posts are more effective when they're at least 1,500 words, okay? So you should just be really careful, of adding kind of filler copy or unactionable writing just to make your blog post longer, okay? Readers of blog articles are typically scanning for information, and they typically just read around 20% of the copy that's on the page. So you just want to share your strongest points. You want to share your strongest points at the top of the page and then chunk your content to make it more scannable by breaking it into manageable sections, okay? So in a nutshell with this, with principle number 1, which is about creating clear copy, clear and concise copy, in a nutshell, you want to use short, simple words that anyone can understand, cut out any words you don't need, okay? And remember that clarity always beats cleverness. Write that down. Clarity always beats cleverness. Okay, so that's principle number 1. And to follow on from the exercise that I gave you earlier, which was to find some copy that you've already created, now I want you to rewrite that piece of copy that you wrote earlier on to make it more clear and concise, okay? So let's move on to copy, principle number 2, which is copy that resonates, okay? So just having a look here. Joe says, so short, snappy sentences, and if need be, cut longer sentences into 2. Perfect. Exactly that. You've hit the nail on the head. Okay, so principle number 2 is copy that resonates. Okay, so this is all about, using words that strike a chord with your ideal students and generate that, oh, you've read my mind, or oh, I really need to have this now, or I really need to enroll on this course now, I really need to book this yoga retreat now, okay? So the most effective copywriting, okay, listen very carefully, the most effective copywriting starts in your ideal student's head. The most effective copywriting starts in your ideal student's head, not yours, okay? So this is why you really need to understand who your ideal student is. And the common mistake that people make with their writing is that it's too self-centered, okay? They focus on what they think is important instead of focusing on what their customers, or in your case, your ideal students, think is important, okay? So to create copy that resonates, you should talk to your ideal student by first describing their problem. So write this down. By first describing their problem, and then secondly, showing them that you understand their journey, Okay, so describe their problem and then show them that you understand their journey. And this is going to help you. This method is going to help you to connect with the types of students that you want to teach, because that's what we want as a yoga teacher, right? We want the types of students that we want to teach, that resonate with what we have to offer, that will come back week after week because they resonate with you as a yoga teacher and they connect with you. Okay, so there's a match. So, you know, a really important place to do this is on the homepage of your website. Okay, I did a whole training on the homepage of your website, okay, and what you need on it to connect with new visitors who could be completely new eyes to your business. So head to the Digital Yoga Academy Facebook page, go to videos and find that training if you need some help with the homepage of your website. But it could be just, you know, a few paragraphs that makes it really clear to your website visitor that they are in the right place, okay? And that what you have to offer them is for them, okay? Because you're talking their talk, and that's what all this is about. You're talking their talk. You're telling them that you understand their journey, that you understand their journey, that you understand their struggles, and that, you know, you can help them to get the transformation that they're looking for. All of this is going to help you to resonate with your ideal students, and this is the second principle of writing compelling copy. Okay, so I have another little exercise for you on this. Okay, so write this down, guys. So another little exercise that will help you to write copy that resonates. Okay, I want you to ask yourself, what are the top 3 struggles that my ideal students are facing right now? Okay, so maybe, you know, maybe it's that they don't know what to expect at their first ever yoga class because they're a beginner and you teach yoga for beginners. Or maybe it's because they're struggling to maintain their home practice and you're creating an online program that will help them to practice yoga at home. Okay, so have a think about this. What are the top 3 struggles that your ideal students are facing? And if you don't know, I want you to start asking your students. Ask the regular students that come week after week. You know, send out a survey, start using poll features on Instagram stories and start collecting some information about this, because it's so important. Will help you to start to understand who your ideal student is, okay? And then once you've done that, I want you to go back to that piece of copy that you've already rewritten to make it more clear and concise. And now I want you to rewrite it, okay, to ensure that it resonates with your ideal students, okay? So you're going to use some of this information that you've gathered around your ideal student and you're going to add that to your piece of copy, okay? Okay, so that's principle number 2. So we've had principle number 1 is to write copy that's clear and concise. Principle number 2 is to write copy that resonates. And then lastly, principle number 3 is to create copy that's authentic, okay? Now, there's a lot of talk about, you know, being authentic or finding your authentic teaching voice and authenticity, especially in the social media world. There's a lot of talk around this. It's definitely a buzzword, and not just in yoga, okay? So, you know, just as finding your authentic voice, you know, can be a process, I guess, of your teaching experience, definitely a process of your teaching experience and time, okay, because it takes time to find your authentic voice as a teacher. Tapping into your, I guess, your authentic self when it comes to writing online and putting yourself out there online can be a little bit daunting. Does everyone agree with this? Can it be a little bit daunting? Tapping into the authenticity, to be authentic with the copy that you're creating for social media or for your website. You know, I know that there are fears around being visible and putting yourself out there, being under the spotlight, and I guess being vulnerable as well, being a little bit vulnerable. So does this resonate with any of you guys that are watching today? Does this kind of feel Am I going a lot on the right lines with this? I think I am. I think I am. From what I hear with yoga teachers in our community, it can be a little bit daunting, okay? But this is just really about, writing copy that sounds like you, okay? Writing copy that comes from your mouth, that sounds like you, yeah? And, it's just about finding your true voice and putting that out there online, and then getting your ideal students to love what you have to say and what you have to offer, okay? So when you can do this, your audience online, or your students that are following you, when they can feel that you're really being authentic, that's when they truly start to trust you, okay? It's when they truly start to connect with you, and they really will become your biggest fans. So this is why this last principle is super important in terms of building the trust factor and building a really loyal fan base. Does this make sense to you guys? Being authentic will enable you to really be successful in terms of getting your emails opened or getting engagement on your social media posts. So what I want you to think about is this, using words that you actually use in real life. And we've actually kind of touched on this a little bit, but just, no one likes jargon or just being overly complicated or overly clever with the words that you use. So just use the words that you actually use when you talk, okay? And one of the best ways to do this is not actually to write the copy, but to say it, So if you struggle in this area, what I want you to do is just record yourself. You can use your phone. There's a recorder on your phone, most phones, or just get a digital recorder and talk about what makes your yoga offering special, okay? Just talk about it. Talk about what you're passionate about. Talk about the things that you want to share, and then type it up, okay? Type it up, because you actually want to sound like you're talking to a friend. You actually want to sound like you're talking to a friend. So that's one way to start being a bit more authentic with the words that you're using online, is just to really focus on using the words that you use in real life. And if you struggle with that, record yourself, type it up, okay? Another way to be more authentic is to share a personal story, Now, people love stories. So, what do you talk about when you're talking to a friend? You can just share a personal experience, maybe write it in a blog post, maybe, look at how you can weave in a personal story into your email newsletters, because that's a really great way to bring your email to life and to humanize the experience for the people who are reading your emails. It's a really great way to do that, is to see how you could weave in and, make it relatable to the content that you're putting into your email newsletter or into your social media post. To start with a personal story is a really great way to encourage that engagement. It's also a really good way to show your readers or your ideal students how you've been in their shoes, okay? So quite often, the things that we share as a yoga teacher are things that we've experienced ourselves and that we've found transformation ourselves. So you've actually been in the shoes of your students. Talk about it. Don't shy away from it. Telling people, I was where you are now, and through yoga I've been able to find that transformation, and this is where I am now, and I can help you on this journey because I've experienced it. I've been in your shoes. It's a really, really great way to show that you've gone through this experience, and to be authentic because you're sharing something that's actually happened to you, okay? So it's not a fib, it's something that actually happened to you. You're sharing your experience as you would with a friend, okay? So really have a think about how you can do this, okay? How you can do that. It's a really great way to, find authenticity in the content that you're putting out there. And just be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because You know, if you're worried about putting yourself out there, just remember that someone who's reading what you're putting out there is in those shoes or has been through the same thing. Okay, so sharing these stories won't alienate you in any way. It actually brings people together. It helps you to build trust in your community. Okay, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Really, don't be afraid to be vulnerable and to feel a little bit uncomfortable with what you're putting out there. I promise you, you'll surprise yourself. You really will surprise yourself with the results that you get and the engagement that you get when you start to share these stories with your community. Okay, and then lastly, the last thing I want to talk about in for principle 3 is to inject your personality. Okay, inject your personality. Please do not skip this part. People don't want to read robotic or dry copy, okay? So don't think that in order to be taken seriously, you have to write proper. So your spelling should be correct, it should be on point, of course, and you should have a good grasp of grammar, but don't be afraid to, you know, add a little bit of your pizzazz into your copy, because that's what keeps people coming back for more, is your pizzazz, is your personality. Okay, so finally, guys, I want you to expand on your piece of copy by injecting some of your personality. So that exercise that we've been doing, that you're going to take away from today's training, I want you to finally now look at it again and add some of your personality, and add maybe a personal story or some aspect of vulnerability, or the words that you use in real life, so that you can create copy that's more authentic as well. Okay, so that's the last part. So any questions from today? We've got a thank you from Yoga Retreat Malaga. Thank you very much for watching and sticking to the end. Really, really happy that you've stayed with me. And over in the Facebook group, Joe says, yes, absolutely, hard to do it with words, sharing but not sharing too much. Exactly. And Sula in Bali, hello Sula, says absolutely agree. Perfect. Well, I really hope that this has been useful for you today. I really hope it's been useful. I do have a lot more to share around copywriting and writing successful copywriting in your business, which I actually have a mini training on this called Copywriting Success, where I go into more detail and provide you with a toolbox to create effective copy in your business. And this mini training is in the Success Club, which is a monthly membership club for yoga entrepreneurs. So that's you guys. And if you want to take a look at the Success Club, if you're on Instagram, I have the link in my bio, so you can go and check it out there. And if you're on Facebook, I will add the link to the Success Club now. It's a really affordable way to learn with me every single month. And I'm giving you guys, for watching me today, I'm giving you guys 50% off your first month using the promo code 2019 Success. So I'm just going to write that into Instagram now, 2019 Success. So you can get your first month for $12. And you can cancel at any time. There are already 13 trainings in there. So you can go in, take a look at all of the trainings, start learning some of these essential business and marketing skills that you really need to up-level your yoga business. And yeah, every single month there's a new training in there. There's also a live coaching call or Q&A session with me in our private Facebook group for Success Club members. The February training is going to be about setting up a Facebook group. So how you can set up a Facebook group successfully in your yoga business. There's all sorts of trainings in there around email marketing, blogging, social media, and so on. So I really encourage you to go and check it out, and also to get obviously the rest of the training around copywriting if you want to learn more about that as well. Okay, so I'm going to add all of the links. Hope to see you next week. And thank you for joining me, everybody. See you all soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Take care. Take care.